Big fun.
Big fun.
Alright, so what are we doing today at Ugly Truck? Okay, we have a 1986 Chevy C10 here from Mississippi. And this truck started its life in Florida and made its way up to Mississippi. And it ended up here somehow. Jeff, he got a hold of us and said he wanted us to LS swap his truck. But we're fixing all the rust on this truck also, and it doesn't have that much rust, fortunately, but I've been working on that on the firewall. Today, I'm taking a break from it, and I'm gonna do the cab mounts, because I don't want to go through all the work of what we're doing on this truck, and then at the end of it, think about putting cab mounts and radiator support mounts in it, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. I already started on it. I had a little bit of trouble with one of the bolts, and we're going to show you hopefully how I go about trying to fix that. We'll see how that goes, okay?
Okay.
All right, ever since this truck has been here at the shop, from the very moment we first lifted it up and took a look at the condition of it, I started spraying down any bolts that I thought I knew I was going to have to do eventually. Motor mount, or not motor mount, the, what are they called?
Cab mounts?
Yeah, cab mounts. All right.
Or body mounts, maybe?
Yeah, the body mount bolts, the cab mount bolts. I knew I was going to have to do those. So I've been spraying them down with WD-40, PB Blaster, a whole bunch of different things just to try to make my job a little easier when I got to that point. So last week I took and put a wrench on it basically and went to turn them and see if they'd come loose. And all but one of them, okay? And I'll show you in a second of what the other one's doing. Its nut is basically slipping in the hole, so that's not ideal when you're doing cab mounts, all right? We bought a kit from LMC to replace them all. They're all, they're for the cab mounts and the radiator support mounts, they're all the same basically. This kit even comes with the new bolts to bolt the truck box down with, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So it basically has everything to hold your body onto the frame, which is a pretty nice kit. And there's stock rubber ones, they're not polyurethane ones, okay?
Okay.
And I kind of like these, and that's the way it is. LMC and WD-40, still not a sponsor.
No.
Okay.
Still no sponsors.
Right. Okay. So what happened? I put a breaker bar on this one. Okay. And I'll show you what happens when I go to turn on it. Okay. So that isn't what you want to have happen. All right.
No.
There's inside that cab mount. There is a bolt that's got a pretty good sized nut on it. It's kind of like a cam shape almost, so it's not supposed to turn in that hole, but it's actually turning in the hole, so the nut is not being held tight or held still on that bolt, okay?
Okay.
The other three, they all are turning okay, but this one is not. And I'll show you the way I go about trying to stop that from happening. And we hope that works. If it doesn't, then it turns into a bigger nightmare.
Yay!
Right. Okay? No matter what it is, this is an 86 C10. One of the biggest problems with something like that is I cannot actually see what is going on in there. Until now, okay? I have a tool now that I can actually run up through here and take a look at it. I'll be able to see how rusty that bolt is basically what I want to know. Okay?
Yeah.
And I've never been able to do that before, but I can now. All right, so we're going to use a endoscope, borescope, whatever you want to call it. It's from ANYKIT. It showed up and I took it out of the box and I was using it within about 5 minutes. It's that simple to use.
Yes, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's electronic and I was able to operate. Okay? Yeah, it is a blast. So, and it works great. I never expected to have one that worked as well as this one does. And we'll set it up and we'll show you what we did with it, taking a look at these bolts so we know what we're doing, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's do that.
Okay, so this thing has a forward-facing camera and a side view. So we're going to use that one. Fish it up through that hole. Oh, what we got? Okay, there's your bolt. Okay, you want to try to turn it?
Sure.
You can see the edge of the cam there.
Can you see it move?
Yep. So we can see that cam slip. Okay.
Did you see it?
Yep. So it slipped inside the channel or whatever you call it there.
But it doesn't look too rusty, right?
Oh, you can see the threads. It's really not that bad in there.
All right. Great. So let's deal with that.
Okay.
Okay, so by being able to take a look at that thing, I know that it's not too rusty. The nut is got just enough room that it is just slipping inside that cab support, okay?
Okay.
So first thing I'm going to try is I'm going to try and put a C-clamp on it, okay? Or a vice grip, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Not a sponsor again. But I'm just going to take and I'm going to put it on there as hard as I can and try to crush, or not crush it, but just pinch that that cab support together to give it less room for that nut to turn, basically.
Okay.
Okay? And if we're lucky, it will work. It's like about everything we do, it's all a matter of luck, it seems like. And so I'm going to center it with the bolt, all right? And try to come in and get that vice grip as tight as I can. Ah! Okay?
Okay.
Good sound effects?
Yeah.
All right. So, with that in there, I'm hoping that will stop that thing from turning.
Okay.
If it doesn't, then I got big problems, okay?
Yeah.
It's going to turn a little bit. I'm going to try and go back and forth a little bit, and I think I just felt it move.
I
Okay.
think I saw it.
Okay. All right. So it's moving a little, but it's very tough. Okay. Oh no, it slipped. Okay. It's holding better than it did before. Famous last word. Let's see if I can't get my vice grip a little tighter.
Hiya.
Whoa. All right.
So strong.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Now it's just worse. You little...
So we have a new plan. This is plan number F11.
Oh, no. Okay, try number 100. We should point out the battery power on that's amazing.
Yeah.
getting loose. And there it is.
Yay!
And without that thing, we would have never accomplished that. No way. Okay, so if you were following along with that one, okay, what we ended up doing is I took a piece of 1/4-inch steel rod and ran it up through a hole up there and basically made that captured nut fit a little tighter, okay?
Yep.
When we finally got it out of there, okay? And then people would say, well, why would you bother doing that? They didn't look that bad, but they're pretty rusty. That's all rust. And then you can see well, there was a bunch of junk in there, but they just deteriorate, and this is the bottom portion of them. Okay. So let's go ahead and put the back ones in, all right?
Okay.
So the one on the right-hand side, it's not actually came free, no problem. Okay, so lubricating it all that time actually helped.
There you go.
See? More rust and junk, right? And that one, really nasty.
Really rough.
Okay? And at a glance, you would have never thought that. They didn't look that bad, but they are. They're pretty crusty. So I'm just gonna take, I got my jack stand. You could do it with a jack if you're doing it on the ground or whatever, but I had to put it on a piece of wood because it wasn't tall enough. And I'm just gonna lift the cab up enough to get this mount, the top portion of the mount out of there. Okay, and all the other mounts on the front, and if you had the radiator support still on there, you would want to have those at least, loosened up. So there's the top portion.
Okay.
Okay. And the cab is just falling that way, it's not rusted out as bad as like our 72.
No.
Our 72, it would still be sitting on one side. Okay, so there's that one.
Okay.
Won't need those anymore. On this truck, they're all the same. Front and back, radiator support ones are even the same. And, oh, look at that, and it won't fit in there, okay? So I gotta crank it up a little more. Goes in. It's got like a little straight edges on them.
Oh, yeah.
So they only fit in one direction, kinda.
There you go.
Okay. And this one. Get in there. Line it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Set it back now. And like I said, this kit comes with everything. And I'm just going to do this right-hand side because I'm going to have to clean up the threads on that left-hand nut. So I'll clean them up and it'll draw right into it, no problem. So there you go. Okay.
Okay.
All done.
Ta-da!
Yep. So, and I won't tighten them down until all 6 of the cab and the radiator support ones they're sitting on top of it, okay?
Okay.
So, that's it.
There you go.
That's all it takes.
Okay, so cab mounts can be a real pain and can turn into a real nightmare real quick, but being able to see up in there and see that bolt and see that nut and being able to wedge that rod in the way that Jerry did, that just saved us so much time, so much hassle. So a big thank you to ANYKIT. You guys saved our tails on this one. And that is something, that is a tool that we will use over and over again. It's a tool with a million uses, so.
That's right. My next step would have went to going and getting the torch out. I would have cut the rubber mounts off of there and heated that bolt up and went at it with some heat. But once that thing slipped, I was at a point where even heating it up wouldn't have worked. And then at that point, if I couldn't have got it with a torch, I would have ended up having to cut an access hole in the box to get to that nut on the top. So it would have been a lot of work and a big problem.
Yep. So there you go. As always, we hope this video helps you out, gives you an idea of what's going on in there when you're replacing your own cab mounts. We appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and we will catch you next time.